Hey, good evening, guys. Welcome to Living with the Graham. And mortality and how long we have left on this earth. A little bit more somber and somewhat unappealing thoughts, but the date that this video will be released will be my birthday. So first, I am having a birthday beer with you guys. Cheers. It's one big one, but it's what I'm doing for the evening. It's been really interesting the last few days. I will be 43, and as I'm talking to people, they are reminiscing about when they turned 40 or so, and they said, oh, my life's half over. And whatever experiences they had at that point in time, and then they realized it was like, oh, it's everything we grow from. It's everything we experienced to that point. And I get it. You know, for males, 40 is a big year. Things do change. I didn't really feel any change till I was about 42. As far as females, there's a change as well. I don't know how that is for them, but I'm very sure they experience their own changes. And as far as what we are doing in our time that we have and reflecting on time we have left, it's kind of humbling because we never know. We never know when going to work could lead to us not coming home. And that's an incident that happened to my brother-in-law a few years ago on my birthday, about 3 years ago. He was a cement truck driver, had a one-car accident, meaning just him. He went around a hairpin turn probably faster than he should have. And the best that we can discern from the incident was he hit his head, knocked himself out, got in a position he couldn't breathe, and asphyxiated. So that's, again, just one incident, one thing in life that it's easy to overlook, take for granted that we're going to be able to show up tomorrow. And I've kind of been planning this one, mortality, but, well, not necessarily mortality, but it does coincide with the statement of how many years do we have left. That's been on my mind a lot, and because of his specific accident, I look at those trucks, like cement trucks and dump trucks, differently. The way that I pass them, the way I drive behind them or in front of them, I kind of pay more attention because they are very top-heavy vehicles, and I deal with truck drivers on a daily basis. They deal with things that are not normal for a non-CDL driver. So I have a higher respect for them. Some of them I just kind of don't get what they do at all, and they're aggravating nonetheless. But I'm sure that some of you guys are in these positions too, where you're getting to an age that you're starting to realize there's a mortality and that all this is going to end at some point. And how do you want to live your life? Now, my brother-in-law's passing was a big part of me finding my joy, because it really pushed me to start asking questions a lot about myself, what I'm doing, the way I undervalued my qualities that I could give people. And it's, the hurt's not necessarily past, it's minimalized. I remember him a lot in his ambitions. It's the beer. I'm telling you, it's the beer. But the other side of that is, a few years before that, I lost one of my best friends. He was a couple years older, and he was 42 when he passed away, leaving a son behind. And I've thought about what we leave behind. I think that if we ever accomplish all our goals and we have nothing that we're leaving behind, we didn't try hard enough. We didn't challenge ourselves enough to work to be the best version of ourselves. And I was thinking about that on the drive home, that I said, I really hope, oh, sorry. I'm not so worried about legacy, but I want to have a lot of concepts and ideas that may be affecting people, hopefully in a very positive way, that are unfinished when I finally do pass. Because that means I'm always striving for a goal, a point in life to just be better, have something to give to people. And one of those things is the difference between joy and happiness. For me, the point where all this started was woodworking. I really haven't shown much of it. Getting there. But it was about this time, 2 years ago, I was gifted a small piece of pecan wood, and I got it in my head I was going to build a side table for my dad's new couch. He's been doing a lot of house renovations, so it was like kind of a gift. Something a little bit different than what he's putting into the areas of the living room. And it came out really well, and it gave me the confidence of, I can do this. I could do these artistic things, and I found out through the process that I do find joy in it, and not happiness, actual joy. Dogs are going in and out of the new dog door that we got them. However, something I want to share with you guys, and is from a book that I got to put these on. Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. I started reading it again, and immediately, one of the first pages I read, I don't recall reading because of where I was at in that time. And it really, really took me back. So I said, okay. I said to myself, let me go back to the glossary, and I want to look at some of the terminologies they have. And interestingly enough, happiness and joy are two of the terms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off the glossary. happiness, and then the next page, oops, there's joy in there as well. Because that was a big thing, understanding the difference between the two for me. So happiness, as far as Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy, their definition is a positive temporary feeling attached to a circumstance. Good feelings based on good circumstances. What's happening? That's kind of like a quote unquote, what's happening? What's happening in that situation? When circumstances are bad, there is no happiness. Although there may be forced smiles. We do that a lot in life. We really do. I know I do it. I have a very hard time with work in some very specific circumstances. But when a driver comes up or someone comes in, I put on a face. My wife will know the true me, as she always should. But we can go out to dinner or something and we both put on a good face, even though it's kind of a band-aid. It's like a cover-up. So to continue, happiness is always a byproduct of circumstances. It's a byproduct. So basically, the way that I would take that is, I'm going to use the term Band-Aid again. In fact, I probably got the term Band-Aid from this book because it's a temporary fix. And that's really probably that key moment or key verbiage that I read. God, my vision's changing. I apologize, guys. Yeah. But that's kind of where I started working on finding my joy. And on that note, joy is a deep, pervasive sense of well-being. Pervasive sense of well-being. Versus happiness, I'm going to go back to happiness, versus a temporary feeling attached to a circumstance. Okay? So again, pervasive sense of well-being. Pervasive meaning you can overcome. You are able to be at peace in, well, I don't want to say peace, but you're able to keep yourself together during those tough times. Whether it's through death, difficulties at jobs, even sometimes the ups, you're able to keep yourself probably more centered. And it's not something fake. It's something that takes a lot of work to get there, to get to that point. And it's something I'm being challenged with, and that's okay, because I'm a lot further along than what I used to be. So I'll continue here. I'm going to start back because I only got 8 words in or so. But joy, a deep, pervasive sense of well-being, freedom and gratitude, independent of circumstance. Okay, independent of circumstance. Or happiness, good feelings based on good circumstances. Okay. It's deeper and broader than any pleasure. It's a sense of delight that comes from awareness and anticipation of the beauty, grace, and glory you were created for. Now, this is one of those books where I knew I was getting ready to lose the position I had with the job. And instead of being the victim, I said, what can I do to strengthen my resolve, strengthen my emotional intelligence, my emotional IQ? And I read that book, but not quickly. I read it and did what I just did, kind of back and forth between happiness and joy. And I knew I was on a pursuit to find my purpose in life. And then when woodworking came along, it simplified that answer. And I realized it didn't have to be complicated. It could be a simple thing that was in my life that was creative, I could be proud of, and it brought me joy. It doesn't change the fact that at some point this is all going to end. It will be a past. Life will go on. But I'm going to celebrate every day. It may not always be my birthday, and I'm not always going to have a beer in hand, but I want to give you guys the sense that there is a lot out there. There's a lot to be grateful for, and stop looking for it on the external side. Look into yourself, and hopefully that's helpful for anyone that's not sure where they're at, not sure what they're dealing with. Just trying to find kind of their one thing that gets them through, their motivation. So I'm hoping that helps. I'm very grateful. I've actually made it this far in life, and the way that I've been living my life in the last few weeks, few months is way different than I was living it even a few years ago. I'm not going to say things don't upset me, but they don't set me off. It's not worth it. It's not worth the time wasted being upset and angry. I get through it a lot faster, and I'm very glad I do, because I have a lot more time that I like to spend with people I love, things I'm doing with the woodworking, and I finally got some things working on that have been taking me a while to get to. We have a change of season. It's getting cooler. It's dark at 7 o'clock? No, 6:30. It's dark before 6:30, and I'll probably do some woodworking after this, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, guys, mortality. And what time do we have left? Be at peace and find your joy. And I will talk to you guys later. Good evening.